Hello Newcastle fans, welcome to another video, and today's video is genuinely positive. I'm very happy to deliver my Newcastle family this positive news about Benjamin Sesko, about Aaron Ramsdale, about Scalvini as well. It's going to be really interesting. But before I begin, as always, give this video a massive thumbs up and hit the subscribe if you are new here. But let us start with the biggest news, and it's from David Ornstein regarding Aaron Ramsdale, and he says Newcastle have reached an agreement with Southampton to sign goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale. The 27-year-old has been granted permission to travel for medical and finalise the transfer, which is a loan with option to buy. And of course, Newcastle fans in this comment section anyway were quite happy with the fact that Newcastle signed somebody, but I'm seeing a lot of people upset. Finally, a signing for the Magpies, one of the worst keepers in England. A lot of people being salty about it. But look, as somebody who watched Aaron Ramsdale week in, week out as an Arsenal fan, I'm probably one of the best people to ask regarding how good Ramsdale is. And the general opinion on him is wrong. Yes, he may be somebody who can lapse in concentration, but I feel like football these days, because we're seeing so many just alien players at 15 years old, for example, Max Dowman playing football, that's ridiculous. You know, 15-year-olds playing against professional men older than them, 30 years old. It's kind of made you forget how young 27 is for a goalkeeper. You know, he is not finished fully. He's not a finished article. That's what I'm trying to say. And he's already a good shot stopper. He's already very good with his feet. This is a guy making courageous passes, playing out from the back. This is a guy who was left to dry, left to hang by Southampton's defence last season. You know, this is genuinely a very good goalkeeper. And Newcastle have had long-term interest in Ramsdale, but, you know, they weren't able to get it over the line due to Arsenal being the guys that they were trying to sign him from. And obviously the board of Arsenal and Newcastle's board haven't got the best relationship. But yeah, this is a guy who's genuinely good. Like, I get why you would be annoyed. It's not Trafford. You know, you had always had this idea that Newcastle were going to sign Trafford, but Ramsdale's no scrub. He genuinely is only 27. He'll only get better. He's already at a good base level. He was performing in the Champions League for us. He was performing in the Premier League. I encourage you to look at Ramsdale passing clips on YouTube. I know it's only compilations, and I encourage you to look at Ramsdale shot-stopping clips at Arsenal as well. That is the version that you could get. That is a guy who was able to keep Arsenal in a title race right until the end, where he just lost himself a little bit. And that's as the team lost themselves. He is a confidence player, and I feel like St. James's Park is probably the best place for him to be. That crowd of St. James's Park will keep him alert all the times. It's a match made in heaven, genuinely. And I get why some Newcastle fans would be upset, because Trafford, yes, but for £4 million, which is the loan fee, which Fabrizio Romano has said, this is not bad whatsoever. Anyway, let's get shifting on to the other good news. Newcastle are in advanced talks with Benjamin Sesko and his representative on personal terms. According to Jacob Benz, a very good source, the Magpies are now engaged in club-to-club negotiations and are ready to bid. And there's actually a video regarding what Jacob Benz said, so we'll have a little watch about it here.
They're going to have to be quicker than for Ollie Watkins, because Newcastle are advanced on the player side. They're in club-to-club talks. They're ready to bid. Manchester United is still having an internal debate and conversation. And as a consequence, that outreach for both Watkins and Sesko is still formative. But I get the impression this is a big week in the pursuit of a number 9. Because if it's Sesko, Manchester United are going to have to get moving. If we hear a bit of a lull, it probably means they're looking for proven Premier League experience, and they genuinely believe that Watkins might become available. And if Manchester United...
So basically, United are the other team that in the race for Sesko, but it seems as though Newcastle are really accelerating forward. And touch wood, because we've been here before, Newcastle fans. How many times with Ekatike? How many times with Trafford? How many times with other players like Mbeumo? Let's not get excited to those levels yet, because I think Benjamin Sesko will be one of the best 9s in the world in 2-3 years' time, without a shadow of a doubt. But we cannot get ridiculously excited just yet, because we know how the board has been this summer and how difficult this summer has been. I'm not blaming Newcastle. I'm not laughing at you guys either. But tying those deals over the line have been a very difficult process. But the fact you're advanced negotiations with Sesko in terms of his camp, I think that was the hardest part. I think you were always ready to pay the fee required. And James William, you know, this is why I think this is a lot closer. He said a long time ago, Newcastle United are closing in a deal for Benjamin Sesko. Personal terms, no issue. Player excited to play Premier League football. So there you have it. And this is an underground source, James William. I don't know too much information about him. He's got 10.9k followers, not that that matters. But he was also key in releasing the news about Alexander Isak wanting to leave Newcastle. So this is good news, Newcastle fans. I would feel genuinely a little bit of excitement, not that level of excitement, because we know what can happen with these deals. They can fall through. But Sesko has genuinely got the potential to be one of the best nines in the world. I wholeheartedly believe that. And I feel like a team like Newcastle is perfect for his development. A manager like Eddie Howe is also perfect for his development too. And yeah, he's excited to be in the Premier League. He's only young, 22 years of age. So you can just about imagine, and I encourage you, on my Twitter, I've talked so much about Benjamin Sesko. So if you want to go over to TM Talks Board and you literally just search the name Sesko, let me even do it now. You'll see how much I absolutely love this football and how good he is. Even when Arsenal going for Gyökeres, I always maintained, please get me Sesko. Please get me Sesko, because I know how good this guy is. And I said this, Newcastle in a good position. They should genuinely keep Isak. Well, that can't happen. None of these can happen. But this was at the time where it was either Isak or Ekatike going to Liverpool, sorry. But I said, go for Sesko. Next season, he'll be ready to start straight. So I think if you get a Sesko, you get a Wissa as well. You guys are set. Who cares about his... Not who cares. I know how much he's meant to you guys, but you can almost start looking positively, because that's two centre forwards. Wissa can start. Sesko can be slowly bedded in. If Sesko's development goes quicker than expected, he'll start. Wissa can come off the left. There's just so many ways Newcastle can go forward. And, the talent that Sesko is, he will naturally take over the first spots. He will naturally, And I made this post, and you're looking at it for Newcastle United. The quality of Premier League centre forwards, I'd have Newcastle third here. I'd have City and Liverpool, then Newcastle, then Arsenal, then Chelsea. I genuinely would. And that's not me because I'm being biased. I'm trying to make you guys excited. But I think quality-wise, Sesko trumps a Gyökeres and Havertz in 2 years minimum. Wissa is a phenomenal player now, who I genuinely believe is quite underrated and will do the job. He scored 20 goals for a Brentford side. I mean, my word. Newcastle fans, you're in a genuinely good position regarding Benjamin Sesko. I think he is a phenomenal player. But let's get on to the last stuff. And it is regarding this man, if it wants to load. There we go. Breaking: NUFC interested in Atalanta defender Giorgio Scalvini, according to Dimarzio. We've always known about this. There's no concrete offer on the table yet, but the Magpies have been following him for several years now. And even watched him in pre-season friendly last weekend. So there you have it. Another good piece of news. This one seems to be continuous monitoring, see how he's recovering from his injury. And then if you like what you see, judging off the pre-season, you go for him. I think this one is one where you are going to be front runners, because I don't think anybody else would be willing to take the risk. I don't know what happened with Botman in the end. I don't know if he has that injury. Let me actually have a bit of a search. Botman injury. I think this is a good thing about when you're doing it live like this. You can just search when you have an idea. We didn't think it was serious, and we've had that confirmed with a scan. He won't play tomorrow. He could play against Tottenham. So good news regarding Botman, but can Newcastle take another risk with a Scalvini? I think this is what this monitoring stage is all about, but he genuinely is a very good player. But anyway, Toon family, that's it for now, and on to next time. Peace.